Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Let's Pray. I hope you're having a blessed and prosperous day. I apologize for having some technical difficulties with my guest here. Hopefully, we can get him on in a few moments. I said I was going to be on at 1:30. I was running slightly late, but yeah, hopefully we can get him in here soon. I will share with you, I've known this guy for a long time, okay? But he just happens to be making his professional boxing debut. Coming up soon. Coming up soon. So I'm looking forward to it. Hey, there you go. Hey. All right, here we go. He's in here, y'all. Let's get him, add him to the stage here. Hello?
There we go.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. All right, everybody. Well, we're just gonna go ahead. I was gonna do this off stream, kind of prep you, but I know you was born ready, so
Yeah, I'm used to it my whole life.
Yes, sir.
I want to see you bigger. Let me see. Let me figure this out. Oops.
I can make it. Oh yeah, I can make it bigger like that.
What I do? Maybe I got. Do I got time?
There we go. All right. Well, it's your boy. Let us pray. I hope you're having a blessed and a prosperous day. Normally this will be our Falcon therapy segment, but we have a special guest today. His name is Andrick Robinson, and he is going to be making his professional boxing debut next month. So we wanted to have him in here and just have everybody meet Andrick and for him to just share his story with you guys. So let's get to it, man. Welcome in.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. I've got a few questions. Don't mind us. This like my little brother right here. So if we go off topic, if we go off tangent, we go on a tangent. We just having a conversation like family. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So my first question. This is for the people. I obviously know the answer to a lot of these questions, but tell the people, where did you grow up, and tell us a little bit about your childhood, brother.
Okay. Originally grew up in East Palo Alto. I was there till I was 12. So uh, I lived in East Palo Alto, but I got to go to school in Palo Alto. So as they say, like I lived in the hood, but I got to go to school, with the kind of higher class people, if you want to call it that. So I saw the best and worst of both worlds. You know what I mean? So, you know. My family, obviously, my grandfather lives in East Palo Alto as well. On my mom's side, he lived only a couple blocks from us, and then my dad, my paternal grandfather, he was the founder of Grace Temple, so we still have that church in East Palo Alto as well. And then my maternal grandfather was the pastor at Pure Gospel, which I believe was in Menlo Park at the time.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Lived well. When my mom got remarried, we stayed right around the corner from Elder Wright, Pastor Wright. So yeah, it's a very small town. Everybody knows it.
You could probably throw a rock from your house to Popeye house.
Absolutely. So no, that's awesome, man. All right, now let's get into some boxing questions here. First question: at what age did you get interested in boxing?
Well, I mean, obviously, you grow up kind of in a hood. You end up, fighting. I've been fighting my brother my whole life. You know what I mean? Brother
Shout
and
out to
cousin.
Patrick.
You know what I mean? And my brother's 4 years older than me, so I naturally was used to having competition that was greater than me. Actually, my first sport was actually basketball. As far as organized, I played soccer first, but we grew up playing basketball. Playing each other in the neighborhood, wherever. So, but my actual first official sport was soccer. I played everything, but I was best as a wing forward.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know you played soccer.
Yeah, yeah. I was on a select team and everything. The only thing that stopped it is when we moved, we never went and looked for the new clubs and things. So once we moved, I
Okay.
stopped playing.
Okay. Did you check out the World Cup this year?
Oh yeah, I watched a little bit of it, but more than anything, I just been kind of locking in doing my pre-camp stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Man, that's crazy because my first sport was soccer too.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
played soccer one season. I didn't make it to the select team though.
Yeah. Okay.
I hung the soccer cleats up
Yeah.
after one season.
Honestly, I loved soccer. If I could have kept playing after I moved, I would have probably still been really good. But like I said, I played everything. But at that level too, if you're on a really good team, because I played goalie too. If you're on a really good team, it could be very boring as a goalie because you just pretty much twiddling your thumbs. If you got a good team, it doesn't even come on your side of the field. So
Right.
you know, but like I said, so that's why my footwork's always been pretty good. And then I ran track in high school. Almost what 3 out of the 4 years. So I already had the conditioning.
Right.
Mm,
Yeah. Nah, for a lot of you that don't know, like we are 80s babies. So um we grew up playing basketball in the backyard.
for
Like
real.
and when I mean we played basketball in the backyard, I ain't talking about like one game. I'm,
Nah, all
I'm,
day from sun up to sundown.
I'm talking about I'm talking about after the sun went down, we were still playing.
For
So
real.
those were some epic wars back there, man, with you and Patrick.
Yeah,
I caught the
Rob. Remember
tail
Rob
end.
Anderson?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Patrick's homies, yeah. Some of your homies. Elder, you know, Pops got out there a little
Yeah.
bit at the beginning. I caught the tail end of his basketball run,
Yeah.
but those are some good times, man.
Well, yeah, he played with us probably well into his 50s. The only
Yeah,
thing that finally stopped him is when he tore his other Achilles.
Achilles, yeah.
And then he never really, he might come out there and shoot after that, but after that, he didn't really, try too much.
I remember that. I
Mm.
remember that. I was driving him around that summer
Yeah.
after he blew that Achilles, man.
Mm.
Uh, that's what I'm nervous about too. I'm like, I can't. Just can't bring myself to hoop. It's been too long.
Right.
I'm staying with pickleball. I'm staying
Right.
with pickleball.
Right. Now, actually, I've been hooping lately because we work with kids in the neighborhood. Actually, not far from the church at the Bowling Green Park. We go and play with
Oh
them
yeah,
days. So, and then I linked with one of my friends that I know that owns Rock Ball. So just this past weekend or the weekend before, we got them to go in and be able to play indoors too. So that was a good experience. But
that's
since
dope.
August is here now, I'm not taking any risk. So that
Yeah,
was my last, little run because people be undercutting and you just end up getting silly injuries. So, you
for
got to
sure,
be safe.
for sure, man. Always err on the side of caution.
Hmm.
Um, all right, so we got what about boxing? And this is like I got three different things here, or maybe it's something that I don't have on my list. What about boxing drew you to it or inspired you? Is it the physicality of the sport? Is it the fact that you have to discipline and train your body? Is it the one-on-one competition? Do you like the fact that you don't have to depend on a team? It's just only you in there, mano y mano? Or is it about perfecting the craft, the skills of boxing? what about boxing do you love the most, or is it a blend of some of those answers?
I would say it's a blend. So, I mean, I always tell people that boxing is like chess with your body, except for when you make a mistake, you're going to feel it. You know what I mean? So, I've always liked the mental aspect of it. Of course, obviously, there is a physical aspect to it, but a lot of it's more mental than anything because you can be in the best shape of your life, but if your mental is not right, we've seen it where, great people that were supposed to win on paper just got demolished because mentally they weren't right, or they just got beat and then they weren't able to recover because
Right,
mentally either they were like, one of the things that's common is when you're in there, exchanging with a guy, is it's either going to be your to your advantage or theirs. Whoever is making the other person think is who's going to typically control the fight. If I got you constantly worried about what I'm going to do, now you're fighting my fight. You know what I mean?
right,
So, and it's like chess. You got to think, okay, if I do this, he gonna do that, and if he
right,
does that, I'm gonna do this. So you got to be
right.
thinking like 5 moves ahead, just like chess. You know what I mean? So for
Yes,
me,
sir.
more than anything, the discipline aspect of it has always helped me, and I think that's why I've thrived is because I come from a very disciplined household, and background, and I was raised by leaders.
Right,
So, and also too, because it's not a team sport, I either make or break by me. You know what I mean?
right.
It's not like I can have a great performance and then I know my team still loses, which can happen in different sports. It's all
Absolutely.
on me. You know what I mean? So whether I win or lose, it's all on me. Like I said, they got a saying. You say, either you can, if you live, for the cheers, you'll die by the booze. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So more than anything, it's just about staying disciplined. You got to have that right mentality and not succumb to the praise. You know what I mean? It's good to, it helps to, get some of the praise and whatnot, but I always tell people, don't follow me, follow me as I follow him. You know what I mean? I'm just
mhm.
exercising my gifts so that, he can get the glory and making sure that I'm not burying any of my talents. That's kind of the main reason that I'm getting back into it, is since I've been working with the youth, especially, they're always like, "Why did you go pro? Why did you go pro?" So I'm like, how can I keep telling them to never give up on your dreams? And to them, it
Yes,
looks like I gave up on mine. So I'm like, okay,
yes,
I still got some years, of eligibility, and my body's still in great shape. So let me give it a couple years so I can show the kids, not just tell the kids what they should do. Because this generation is very much about showing what you can do and not just talking about it. You know what I mean? Walk the
yes,
walk, don't just talk the talk.
yes, sir. No, I really appreciate that about your journey. The fact that I know, where we grew up,
Yeah.
and the obstacles we had that we faced. But the fact that you are reaching back and giving back to the community,
Yeah.
uh, all the respect in the world, brother. All the
Plus,
respect.
I think it also helped me heal too from the passing of my mom. Because for those that don't know, my mom was a kindergarten teacher for 30 plus years. Matter of fact, I think she was your kindergarten teacher.
Yes, he was. Yes, he
you know?
was.
So for me, I worked with special needs kids for, well, even before then. Before mom passed, I was working with a nonprofit organization called Hawk, which stands for Higher Attainment Through Wisdom and Knowledge. And I worked with, I'll put it this way: the kids that I started with in fourth grade, they're now in high school. Some of them, I think they're getting ready to graduate this year or somewhere around that time. But
Wow.
I've been working with them for years. On and off duty.
Yeah.
Uh, we've done different things. We've gone and give back to the home during COVID. When they weren't in school, we still kept and took them to the park in the area. Was it Purnell Center? We took them swimming. We did giving back to the homeless, giving them water and things,
Yeah.
and masks and things to help them during COVID to make sure that they didn't get sick because they didn't have some of the same resources. So I've been just staying in the community and not only helping heal the community, but in a way healing myself because I felt like part of me was missing when I lost my mom. So it helped me dive back into the spirit of her, if that makes sense. And then after that, I went into I worked for a special needs um, organization for 2 years. I did 1 year in the schools at different campuses, and then I did 1 year at clinic. And I just started working for them in January. So now I've
Man,
just training people, put full time, and then just getting everything ready for this pro debut.
yes, sir. Man, yeah, you been busy, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know how my family is. We
Busy,
uh
man.
we
Been
gonna do
busy.
the work. I might not always talk about it, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
always do the work. And
yeah,
when at times when I feel like it's becoming too much attention on me, I'll pull back because I've learned that if you can either be humble or you can be humbled by God.
absolutely.
So I try to stay as humble as possible so that he don't have to humble me. Because that's it's not a nice process.
Look, that's the word right there. That's
For real.
that's that's straight from the King James.
Uh,
uh, yeah, man. Nah, you got an outstanding story, man.
yeah,
And you know, you already know how much I love family. Uh, your mom was literally like my second mom. I
yeah,
mean, the fact that we were able to develop a relationship outside of the classroom after kindergarten, started in church, but then expanded to going on vacations with you guys, and then just coming over to chill. Then
some
oh,
Friday
okay,
fish fries.
man, fish fry food galore. Then being able to still keep in contact with you guys when I moved to go to Sac State, and just
Yeah,
having a safe haven there for me, that really was like food for my soul, man.
yeah,
Um, your family's responsible for me going finding showers of blessings,
yeah.
uh, church where I really grew spiritually as well. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, y'all are just like such an amazing family to me. And I mean, mom's dad, me, Rakia and I have even, buried the hatchet.
Mhm.
So it's just really great. The family
Yeah,
is my family.
yeah.
So yeah,
We
just
already know
having
you like one of the, we gotta, I tell people all the time, like, yeah, obviously she was my mom, my biological mother, but she had a lot of kids that she didn't birth, and you was one of those. So,
for sure, man. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're having a conversation. We're gonna get back. We're
oh,
gonna
yeah,
get back
yeah,
on
my
that
bad, my
because
bad.
I no because I could go on until you start bringing up moms. I could go on all day.
Yeah, for real. That's true. That's true.
But I mean, rest in peace. And I know she's smiling. I know
Yeah.
she's looking down on you, smiling, brother. Proud of what you're doing. Absolutely, bro. Um, man. So here's a interesting question. What is your why? This is a question that's asked to teachers. Why did you choose to teach? Why do you do? What inspires you to wake up every morning and say, you know what? I'm going to see this boxing all the way through. What is your inspiration? What is your why?
I would say my why more than anything is like I was talking about before. Is just showing the kids. We got enough people that talk, but I feel like they needed somebody that they could relate to, that's tangible, that they can touch to show them how to do it and how to do it properly, and to show them that you don't have to cross to that dark side just to be successful. You know, you can do things properly and still, get the respect and the love from your community. And when you've been giving back to your community the way that my family has over the years, it's going to come back to you. And I feel like I've been working in the shadows all these years, and I haven't really been talking about it. I just been doing the work because I feel like
Yes.
there's enough people that talk about it, and
Yes.
now is the time to, I have a saying I tell my clients all the time because, I train in boxing and fitness. I tell them, grind and shine. I've
Yep.
done my grinding. Now it's time to shine, and let my light shine so that others may be encouraged to do the same, and
Sir.
more than anything, a lot of my friends that have been traveling with me at tournaments and different things, a lot of them turned pro. They've already done their different things. And I remember we were at a show a couple years ago, and I was at the show, and I kid you not, everybody that was on the card I had either sparred, I had fought and beat, or they were like people that I had helped along the way. And when I
Wow.
sat back and looked at it, I was like, oh man, okay, why am I not? You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I'm young, but like, why am I not? Like, these are people that, you know what I mean? I've helped along the way.
Yeah.
And I felt like, okay, I've done all this time. I've been investing, helping all these different people. Now it's my time to for it to come. And at
Yes.
first, I had kind of given up on it, but we had a trip to Africa, and
Yeah.
one of the things that was prophesied to me by two different people over there was that it was my time to compete. And I was like, and I asked them at first, I was like, "Are you talking about me for sure?" Because in my mind, I had just come to terms with I'm not fighting no more. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe they just Googled me, they looked me up or something. But it was two totally different parts of two different countries. I think actually, I think one was in what was that, Morocco, and then the other was like in Senegal. And then when I came back in July, I had a vision that just solidified it, and I was like, okay, all right, God. The first time I was like, all right. The second time I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. But when I had the dream, I'm like, okay, all right, I hear you, God.
Confirmation. Confirmation.
Exactly, you know. And when
Man,
I
how
first had it, I kind of came out the gate real hard. I came out the gate real hard, and I was still healing, from different things with, within my, dealing with my mom going through cancer and whatnot. Because a lot of people didn't even know the first time my mom was going through cancer. We kept that kind of in house, to protect her. So boxing was kind of one of my releases that helped me to deal with it because I couldn't talk about it, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, it was one of my releases. And when I didn't have that for a while, I spiraled a little bit, and
Yeah.
I, as they say, hurt people, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
when I saw myself getting to the point where I felt like I was going to hurt people, I had to pull myself away, and I pulled back away from a lot of social media and different things. I still kept in contact with my people I talked to regularly, but as
Yeah.
far as being open and available to the public, how I was before, because I believe in being very transparent, I had to pull back for a while just so that I could heal and I could dump a little of my cup so that way I could be able to take on more and be able to help my community. Because if you're not right, you can't help. You know what I mean? So,
Bro, you saying like, look, what you're saying can be applied to anybody's life. And I
yeah,
hope and I know what you're saying is gonna bless somebody. Somebody's might not be watching live, but they might watch this upload.
yeah,
Uh, you have to heal.
yeah,
You have to heal before you can help others.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of time you got to heal before you can help yourself.
Yeah,
You got to take the time,
yeah.
however long it is. We all have our different seasons in life, but you have to recognize the signs um, that healing needs to take place.
And there's no time frame on it because
Absolutely.
so I'll put it this way: I for the first year and a half, I showed no emotion. Matter of fact, if you remember at the funeral, I didn't even speak
Hmm.
because it was that strong with me because of how close I was with my mom. Those that that know,
Hmm.
I literally modified my whole life to make sure that my mom was good. When she was going through her cancer and different things. I was working for Bank of America at the time as a banker, And when they kind of gave me an ultimatum, I was like, yeah, I got one mama, I can get me another job, and
Right.
that's why I changed the way that I did things. But like I said, more than anything, it's important to spend that quality time while you have it. And I already recognized early in my life that I would lose my parents earlier than most
Mhm.
would, because my mom had me late. My mom had me, and then she turned 40 that same year. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, a lot of people's grandparents were the same age as my
Yep.
parents,
Yep.
and but at the same time, one of the blessings of that is you get an older version of your parents that have experienced more things. So
Yes.
you
Wiser
get
version. Yeah.
more developed, more wiser. They're not gonna waste a lot of time on things that aren't fruitful, you know.
Yep. Yep.
And being raised by leaders is a blessing and a curse, because it's one of the things that was hard for me is learning to follow bad leadership. I struggled with following bad leadership because I was raised in such good leadership, and I
Right.
knew what it meant to really be a leader. And that's why I'm kind of hesitant sometimes to people that jump into leadership roles without really understanding not only your impact, but the impact it can have on your family. Like, perfect
Absolutely.
example, my mom and whatnot. Yes, my mother, but we also gave her to you guys so that you guys could be blessed. We sacrificed a lot of family time so that you guys could also be included and you guys could, benefit. But what I do love about that is my family was also very big on quality time. So there were times where only immediate family,
Yeah.
gets to do certain things or experience different things. But we also tried to, like I said, incorporate other people so that, they could be blessed as well. And I believe that that's why our family has been blessed as it has been.
No. No doubt. No
Mm-hmm.
doubt. Um, I mean, the Bible said it's a blessing and more of a blessing to give than to receive.
Indeed.
And you reap
What you
what you
saw.
sow.
Yep.
So if you sowing seeds of love and seeds of relationship and positive, all sorts of things, positive affirmations, all those things, you're gonna reap those things back.
Yeah.
And I'll always end every single segment that I do with simple saying: "Tell those that you love them while you can."
Yeah.
I don't know when that came to me. I had never said that in my life till I started
Yeah.
doing this podcast, but
Uh,
I said it one day, and I haven't stopped saying it
yeah.
since. And I live by that. Tell those that you love them while you can.
Yeah.
With a similar situation my mom had me when she was almost 35. So I mean, she's almost 80 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just we just took her to Oakland on Friday night. Didn't get back
Okay.
till midnight.
Yeah.
Convocation. Then
Uh-huh.
she wanted to go to a wedding on Saturday, so I took her to
Okay.
the wedding in Morgan Hill on Saturday. And somebody was like, "Oh man, you've been busy," and I'm like, "Yeah, been busy, but
Yeah.
mom wanted to
Hey,
go,
that's what
so
keeps them
we
young
going."
though too, is keep them active.
Yeah, she wanted to go, so we going. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Uh,
So it's all love. Tell those that you love them while you can, for sure. Um, this is a question that was asked on the interview that I saw
okay.
with you and the gentleman, but I'm gonna re-ask it again. Why is now the right time? First of all, tell me how many amateur fights did you have?
Oh, I have 40.
40 amateur fights. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So why is now the right time for you to make your pro boxing debut? And you kind of touched on it.
Yeah. Well, honestly, the easiest way that I can explain it, especially to those believers, is this is the time that he confirmed with me. You know,
Yep.
I had opportunity to do things before, um, but I wasn't at the place where he would have been able to use me. I would have been distracted by
Mm,
money and other things that were around. Because A couple of my teammates were signed to different people that I work with regularly. One was signed to Top Rank, the other was signed to Mayweather Promotions. So we were in the works of trying to, build up our resume so that way we could get the top dollar for the best deal. But the main
Right.
reason that I stayed amateur as long as I did was I had made a deal with my mom that if I made it to the Olympics, that she would come because she had never came to fight physically in person. Don't get me wrong, she
Right.
traveled with me to like California Golden Gloves or national Golden Gloves in Vegas and did different things. She supported in her own way, but she never would that actual fight. So
Right.
that was a big why for me. That was the main reason why I was staying amateur as long as I was. And then when I found out for this next Olympics they're not even going to have boxing, I was like, okay, I might at this point I might as well just go pro. The whole reason why I was doing it was to basically build my stock so that I
Right.
could get it to go. And since mom's not here, I don't really feel the need to go to the Olympics or even to that level anymore. So at this point, it's
Right.
just about setting an example for the kids and showing them that you shouldn't give up on your dreams as long as you're capable, and he allows.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I love
And
that.
more than anything, too, I wanted to make sure that I was operating in his divine will and not his permissive will. And I feel like before I was definitely operating in permissive will because I wasn't using his light in the best way, and I was getting a little egotistical in a way. I was because I had so much success early on in my career. When I won
Hmm.
California Gloves, that was literally my ninth fight. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
fought a dude that had like 200 and something fights.
Oh man.
So I had a lot of experience and a lot of success early, so it's easy to kind of get a big head and start feeling yourself. And then nobody would fight me for 2 years in Northern California after I won Golden Gloves. So I ended up becoming a tournament fighter. That can get to your head because like nobody want to fight me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, and then the motorcycle accident happened, and God basically sat me down and was like, "Okay, you don't want to listen? Okay, I'm gonna sit you down, so I got to talk to you." I was bedridden for a while, and literally he just sat there and talked to me. He like, "Okay, you don't want to listen? I got you. Lay down,
Man.
and talk to you." Now all you can do is lay there and look up at me.
Look, God, man. Look, you said something earlier, and I'm just gonna touch on it because some of the viewers, I know some of y'all might not have a strong Christian background, and that's okay. But he mentioned the divine will versus the permissive will.
Yeah,
So you want to be in the divine will
for
of
sure.
God. That's where you want to be. That's where God has ordained you to be. But He can't force you to do anything that you don't want to do. So sometimes He'll allow you to do certain things, and that's called His permissive will. He'll allow it for a time, but then it's up to you to realize, you know what, this is really not working out the way that I thought it was going to. And then you go back and you pray and you seek God for direction and answer, and you realize, oh, I got my answer, and this is where God wants me to be, and that is His divine will. So there's a season, a time and a season for all things, and where you
Yeah.
want to be, hopefully, for most of your life, is His divine will, because that's where things will work out. That's where He will give you favor. That I mean, you'll be reaping the benefits of not only being in His divine will, but then that you're in a posture of obedience as well. You check with God before you make any decision.
Yeah.
Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, lean not to your own understanding. And in all my ways, I'm going to acknowledge Him, and
Yeah.
then He's going to direct my path. Okay, I'm done. All right.
Hey, no, that's real. But I always say a lot of people, they see the blessings, they see different things, but they don't understand a lot of times what you have to go through. And just like a diamond, a diamond goes through a lot of pressure, a lot of things before it gets to that point that everybody sees it. So
Yep.
I say in a world full of cubic zirconia, be a diamond. You know what I mean? A lot of people look shiny and whatnot, but when you get to inspect it, the root is
Yep,
not there. You know what I mean?
that's right.
So,
That's right.
and like I said, in the world of cubic zirconia, make sure you get that diamond.
Yeah, man. Everything that
And
glittering ain't
hey, and
gold out there.
it's still some of them cubic zirconia that can pass the little fake diamond test. But
Oh yeah.
when it's
Oh
really
yeah.
been inspected, that's a whole different story.
Man. Woo. Yes, sir. So no, those are some great answers. So right now is the right time because it's in God's timing. We're in His divine will.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you because I think I've only been to one of your fights. I was at one of your amateur fights in Sacramento. I want to ask you: is there a boxer, current or past, that you model yourself after? Is there a boxer?
There's definitely different influences. So one of my all-time favorites is Sugar Ray Robinson,
Ooh,
obviously.
okay.
But who I watched a lot of when I was the amateur when I first started was Paul the Punisher Williams because he was
Oh,
tall and lanky like me.
throwing a lot of
Um,
punches too.
and he threw a lot of punches. So if you ever pay attention to my early amateur days, I used to throw a lot of punches because
Man,
I modeled it after him. He used to average 100 punches around, or 1,000 punches in a fight. You know what I mean? A lot of output. And but once I switched over to Ray Woods, I started learning more defense. So I started to be more methodical, and I learned how to fight more the inside. So now I feel like you'll see a mixture of both. I kind of come in and out. If I have to compare it to anybody's style, current would be kind of more like Crawford because I can switch stances as well. I can
okay.
fight southpaw, I can fight orthodox. But I grew up watching a lot of Errol Spence too because when I was fighting, he was doing all the Olympic stuff, and then he turned
Yeah,
pro.
yeah,
And then of course, of course, one of my goats, of course, is Andre Ward. And he
yeah.
was safe as well. So I like to follow and kind of model a lot of the way that I was moving forward with him.
Nah, man, you mentioned some great names. Yeah, I forgot all about Paul Williams. Used to watch his fights. Yeah, all he did was just throw, man. He just
Yeah,
overwhelmed you with volume.
yeah,
Um, and then I was big time Earl Spence fan. I mean, I doubt he's even going to see this, but shout out to Earl Spence. He just retired
yeah.
a couple weekends ago after his fight. I wish him the best, man. He was one of the most exciting fighters of this generation, um, and truly like one of the only fighters that I followed in this generation.
Mhm.
So I just have a lot of respect for him, even for him coming back after the car accident and eye injury, and
Yeah.
he still got in there, man, and put his body on the line. That's what a lot of people don't realize, man. Anytime you get in there, man, you putting your body on the line.
Yeah, you put
Uh,
your life on the line
your
too. A lot of
life.
people don't realize it. I mean, even we was talking about Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson killed somebody in the ring.
Yes, yes, man.
And I don't know if you know anything about that story. He wasn't gonna fight the guy because he had the dream that he killed the man, and
Oh,
they convinced a priest to convince him to take the fight.
oh,
Right, exactly. So they had a priest come in and tell him everything is okay, and then he actually retired shortly after that fight because he didn't feel right. He ended up coming back later, but it was for monetary reasons he had to. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, it just
False
I think
prophet.
my phone might die on us. But
Okay,
yeah,
okay. We almost done. We almost done.
okay.
And then my last question is my last question. Perfect timing. What do you want to show the boxing world, man? Is it September 12th?
Yep, September 12th. So
September 12th. And tell us what is your ring nickname?
So I've had a lot over the years.
Okay.
I've been called Slick. My coach called me Tall Boy or Talls for short. So for this first fight, I call it the rebirth of Talls because that
Okay.
was originally who I was at the core before I started taking too much outside influence. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Um, and then eventually, what I want to do is I want to go by the name Mr. Right. It'll be a small W, big R, because it's
Yeah,
a honor for my grandfather, you know, and,
absolutely.
and my mom as well. So I feel like it will be honoring both sides of my family. That's why the W will be small too. Is just like
Absolutely.
if you know anything about science, it's kind of like that recessive gene. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I,
sir.
little W, big R, you know,
I love
and
it.
that's more than anything, that's just to be able to give honor to both of my families so that they can both, you know, get some of the praise for, you know, what I've developed into. Because I feel like, you know, it takes a village, and I feel like my village has been strong. So I want to give back to that village that has poured so much into me.
No doubt, man. I think that's a great way to pay homage. Yeah, I love that, man. So September 12th, what do you want to show the world, man? What do you want to show the world about Andrick Robinson?
More than anything, I just want to let them know, you know, like I said, a lot of my sparring partners and different things they've been seeing over the years, but I feel like there's something different in me that I want to be able to show them. And I feel like I'm not going to bury any of my talents. I'm very much in a season right now of using all the talents that God has given me. So, more than anything, I want them to be able to experience this talent and to watch me as I, you know, allow God to shine through me to be able to, you know, inspire the next generation and those that may come after.
Yes, sir. We love it, man. Well, I know your phone is dying, man. We just eclipsed 40 minutes. So man, we're gonna wrap it up. I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming through. I
Mhm.
appreciate you spending some time with your boy. Um, and you already know we're gonna be praying for you. And September 12th, I got it circled on the calendar. I'm gonna touch base with you and see how I can get my ticket.
Okay.
Um, and we plan to be there, man, and cheer you on, brother.
For sure. And like I said, feel free to interview anytime. You already know you like family to me. So I'll give
Yes,
you,
sir.
even at this time where I'm kind of closed off from the public, I got you.
I appreciate you, man. Well, I'm gonna end it with it's your boy. Let us pray. I hope you have a blessed and prosperous day. Tell those that you love them while you can. We got the fight flyer. Ooh,
Mhm.
ah, the night of the champions.
Yes, sir. And I'll
All
make
right,
sure I get you a
man.
copy too.
I appreciate you.
Uh-huh.
All right, man. Be blessed. Take care.
All right, boss.
All right, peace.
Peace. All right.